Ho, ho, ho! Welcome to part 3 of my Christmas setup extravaganza. It's a little chilly out here, so I think I'd wear my little face warmer. Oh, it's a Santa Claus. Oh, perfect. Here we are. Oh, okay, that's gonna get annoying. Good. I got it built. I've got one side painted, and now I have to flip it and paint the scratch on the other side. So I'm almost done. It's almost done. And then once I do this, I think I'm done completely. Like, it's all set up outside. They've been on for a little bit. I haven't showed you it yet because I wanted to wait till this was done so you can see the whole thing. So that's what I'm doing tonight. And it's officially Christmas, which is actually today is December 1st. So yeah, it's officially Christmas. By the time this video goes up, I don't know. It might be a little after. It might be like mid-December. I'm really slow, okay? Okay. So we're gonna flip this over and paint more red stripes on it. Let's do it! All right, guys, it is time. The reveal of the lights. But first, let's go take a look at the arch. We're walking up to it right now. I'm about to walk through it. So there it is, all complete. It looks so cool. It's kind of funny that I just stapled the arch to the fence. Oh, it makes it pretty rigid. I mean, we've had a pretty windy night about 4 days ago, and it was actually enough to blow the Tyrannosaurus. He's hanging off the porch right there, and all the other smaller ones are just bowled over. So it was enough to blow those over. So yeah, and the arch survived. So that's awesome. Since the last time I filmed, it's been like a week and a half since I got this done, but I had a game plan change where I put the red garland on the inside instead of the outside because first off, it wasn't long enough to go all the way around, and it looked kind of ghetto. It looked better on the inside because on the outside, I put 2 strands right next to each other. They went over, and you could clearly tell that you were using 2 strands of garland because this is cheap garland. It wasn't big and fluffy like this stuff is. So I made a little swap, put 2 lighted strands of garland, which luckily I had, put those around it, and that turned out pretty good. And then put the red garland on the inside, so that turned out really good. And then, of course, you got the LED lights on the inside going all the way around it, so it lights your pathway. It's awesome. I just think it looks so good. And then, luckily, these lighted garland had I had a plug-in at the very top, so I was able to get my own wreath and put a wreath at the very top of it. Definitely adds to the house. And the house looks amazing. And the yard, which I'll take you in closer over there. See the neon deer over there, way in the distance? You could totally see them. And then the back corner, that's now called the leftover corner because those are all leftover lights. And the little snow thingies on the fence, that looks totally cool. So far, they've been up for about 2 weeks, and I've already had to make some adjustments and some fixes, like these icicle lights that are on the fence. They just decide to work when they want to work. So now, all these aren't working. So I had to run a new light strand on the top all the way down so it didn't look so dumb when half of these icicle lights go out. I don't know if you can see this really close. You can actually see they are on just at a really low voltage, and it has something to do with these little resistors, these things right here. Something is wrong with those because they only go out between those resistors. See, they're actually showing a little bit of light, like whatever. But with the house being all crazy, it kind of takes your eye off of that, so that's cool. So we'll go ahead and start over here. Here's the front corner. I actually went somewhat down my alley over there, down the side, and then the top of The top of the house is all lit up. Oh yeah, and the deers are working just fine. Haven't had to fix, well no, I have had to fix that one. The head did go out on that one a couple days ago, but it's just a quick fix. Yeah. Ooh, pretty. Laser lights in the tree look really awesome as well. It probably, now you really can't see it on film. Well, right now there's, the laser lights are in the tree and they're really pretty and sparkly. See, here's one here in the corner, set up right there, pointed at the tree. You just can't see it on camera, sorry guys, but it looks really cool. So here's the front corner of the house, kabam, look at it, oh my God. Oh, and I got my new little swirl light there on that side of the house, because that side of the house was really empty, so I got a little projector to do a little bit of lights, because this was just like really busy, like, oh my God, look at everything, look at blah, blah. And then this was just like, oh, a window and the border, and that was it. So I got a little spiral kaleidoscope light to go on that side of the house to really brighten up that side. And the blow-ups up there look really awesome. After I finally got them anchored so they would stay where they're supposed to stay. And I got the blue rope lights on the chimney. And that candy cane in the attic window and lit up that side. And I plugged in another laser light right here. Just tapped into the end of this strand and the beginning of that strand, and so now that's projecting up there. Let me see if I can move it and you kind of see it. Whoa, 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 yep. A little bit's on the ground too, that looks pretty cool. Ooh. I like it when it's shining on the ground like that. So pretty. And here's the inside of the candy cane arch. Oh, and one more thing. I know I'm gonna use this next year and the year. I'm gonna use it for as long as I can, but I just don't know where I'm gonna put it. This thing's so freaking huge. The only thing I would change would be gold paint right here where the white meets the red. Just a little gold paint, which is small stuff, but I was like, hey, it'll look a lot better if there was like gold and if the red was glittery, like sparkly. Over the next year or so, I'm gonna be making this a little bit more prettier, like put like more sparkle in it. All right, so we'll start here in the front. Got my little seasonal grasses all lit up, my tree, and here's the front of the house. Looks really good. I think my project for next year is this tree. I love this thing, Dennis. This I'm gonna redo next year. I might take everything off of it. I'm gonna spray paint it, because right now it's just metal with like pretty garland on it. But I want to replace all the lights with LED lights, because none of those are LED. Turned out really good. And then the whole mess of cords that plugs everything in, of course that's nice and fun. Come around to the front, got my green grass. There's a big empty spot right there. We're gonna have to fix that next year. And there's the front of the house. Oh, doo, 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 doo. And the porch. And the blow-ups. Oh yeah, fun stuff. And then over here, these are just tomato cages, upside down, wired together with Christmas lights around them. Kind of like a last minute thing. I was like, hey, this needs a little fake tree, so that's tomato cages. So there's that side. Then over here's the neon deer. Oh, they look so good. I just love the way these turned out. The little neon lights, the black lights that power it. It all looks really good. And then there's the back corner. There's the leftover corner, as I call it now. That's just all the leftover lights that really didn't have a home anywhere else. So I just went ahead and just did the back of the house. So there it is. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you guys had fun watching me have fun. And we're going to snap to the inside. Let's go hang out in the studio for a minute, shall we? Let's go. Hello! Oh my gosh, it feels like it's been literally forever since I've been in the studio. Man, it's been forever. Hopefully everything still works. I think everything still works. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Okay, mic still works. What do you think of my cool hat? It's so bright in here, you can't even see it light up. Can you see it light up? It's my Christmas hat. It's a little tight though. So I'm gonna take it off. So I ain't able to check out my crazy hair. Check that out. A little bit of purple. Oh wait, that's blue. There's purple. So hello there. This video is part 3 that you're watching right now. It has taken me 3 weeks to film. Like, I just keep running into stuff, and like not literally running into stuff. So right now I'm filming this 2 weeks after I filmed the like showing you everything that we just cut from. That was like 2 weeks ago. And then before that, doing the candy cane stuff, that was like 3 weeks ago. So it's literally been like a 3-week long process. I don't want to go into it, but a lot of it is I was trying out a new editing program and it didn't really work out that well. And it's just been really busy with Christmas going on. I mean, it's December 17th, I think. So I started filming that like December 1st, maybe even the end of November. It's about time I get this done. I pretty much just wanted to come in here just to say thanks for watching the video and hope you enjoyed everything I did, and hopefully I captured everything. I need to start doing storyboards. I never have it all planned out, like how I'm going to do the video, like how it's going to just whatever. So then it ends up taking 3 weeks to finish a video. Besides all the excuses for me being a bad YouTuber, blah. So as I'm doing this stuff, I'm like, I've always wondered, what is the history of Christmas lights? Like, where did they come from? Where did it all start? And it kind of common sense, it started with the invention of electricity. Duh. So I took some notes here. Can't read it. So I just took down some notes, just a basic, there's so much more to Christmas light history, but the basic, like, quick run through is, of course, it was invented by Thomas Edison, who back in, 1880. Wow. That's when he created the first Christmas tree with, okay, wait. Let's go back further than that. The whole decorating a tree started in like the 17th century, they say. There's a lot of sources out there that are like, well, we don't know for sure, but it's close enough, that Martin Luther, Protestant, started putting candles on trees to mimic the night sky and the prettiness, bring it down to earth. That's where we think decorating a tree with lights came from. It started, and it's just been candles all the way up until Thomas Edison was like, I have a better idea. Those candles burn places down. Let's do something. And I just invented this thing called electricity, so let's put that on a light. So outside of his laboratory in 1880, he had a tree and he put lights on it, and so people on trains passing by saw it and they're like, oh, that's cool. Man, pretty cool. But then, like a year or two later, his assistant, which used to be his boss, but yeah, that's history. If you want to look into it, go look into it. But then this guy named Edward Johnson, he's actually credited with the first strand of electricity. Like, he took Edison's idea and he was like, hey, instead of making it just like individual lights you just place on a tree, let's make a strand of them and wrap it around the tree. And that's kind of where it all started. He was the first one to do that. Let's see here. I'm going through a timeline right now. Then in 1895, President Grover Cleveland was the first one to put Christmas lights on the White House tree. And that kind of spurred acceptance. Before that, from the invention to Grover Cleveland putting on the first White House, before that, people were unsure. They were like, what is this electricity stuff? I don't trust it. People die. That's where they was accepted, like, oh, it's on a White House tree. Maybe they're not that bad. So people started being more accepting of it. And that was in 1895. And then in 1903, General Electric's, GE, offered pre-assembled lights. Like, they came in a box ready to go, but back then they were really expensive. They were like $2,000 in our money, today's money. They were $2,000, and they pretty much required an electrician to wire your house for them. Like, it was so new, and so people were like, what do I do with this? Like, I don't want to. So they actually had to hire electricians to install their Christmas lights. So, and it was only for the wealthy, because of course that was expensive. So only rich white people, had electricians install them on their trees. So that all changed in, let's see, 1917-ish. A guy named Albert Sadaka. He was a teenager at the time, and he and his family owned a novelty lights store factory. He was like, we need to make these cheaper and safer and make them widespread. And then over time, just throughout the 20s and 30s, they got bigger and bigger. And then he created this company called NOMA, which stands for National Outfitters Manufacturers Association. He created them, and there's like all these Christmas light makers into one big company, and they pretty much ruled the market by the 1960s. And then that was in 1917. Then in 1920, I can't read my writing. I write so bad. It's either a 5 or a 3. 1923 or 1925. I don't know. I can't read my writing. President Calvin Coolidge began the country's celebration with the National Christmas Tree, the first lighting of the president's tree. And at the time, it was 3,000 lights, and it was like a big deal. And it was like after that, people were like, hey, we need to do that. Like nationwide, cities had their own Christmas tree lighting celebrations from then on. So that's all history. From then on, it just got bigger and bigger, more and more. Then it came to like New York City and their light displays, and people were like, I want those in my house. And the Christmas lights eventually got cheaper, and they got safer, I guess, safer and cheaper, and more people could afford them. So it got bigger and bigger until now, like today. Like, let's see here. Today, these are some pretty cool stats right here. These are as of 2016, so last year. 150 million sets are sold a year. So I make up a pretty good percent. No, I buy mine after Christmas. So yeah, 150 million sets are sold a year of Christmas lights. What? It turns into 80 million homes are lit up by Christmas lights. So of those 80 million homes, all that electricity, this is pretty crazy. 6% of the national electric load of the entire power grid in our country in December, 6% of it goes to to Christmas lights. What? I would imagine that's getting lower because now with LED lights, which speaking of LED, 1998 was when the first LED Christmas strand, or that's when they started coming around. People were like, hey, we can use these in LED, because LEDs have come along. Like, I think I read 1903 was when LEDs were first like, hey, look what we can do. And then it took 100 years for them to be mass produced, easily produced. And so then it's like, hey, let's stick them in Christmas lights. Now it's like widespread. Everybody's like, and they're still pretty pricey, which I can tell you they are way more expensive than incandescent, but they're getting cheaper. They're getting a lot cheaper. I think I read 2006, the White House Christmas tree went 100% LED. So it took 100 years, 116 years, I'm not good at math, 106 years for LEDs from the invention to being used widespread for Christmas lights. So that's pretty cool. This might be boring to you guys. I just think it's interesting to see the history of things. I like to learn stuff now that I'm old. I think it's crazy that 6% of our nation's electrical usage in December goes to Christmas lights. That's awesome. I want it to be more. More as in more people doing it with LEDs. For the environment and stuff. Well, that's a quick rundown. Hopefully some of that made sense, and hopefully it's accurate. I got it all off the internet. I didn't research it that deep. So that'll do it for this year, 2017 Christmas setup. I already have plans for next year. I got this year was the blacklight deer and the big arch in front of then other than that, all the rest of it was just kind of like, well, this one here last year. So next year, I want to make a train. What? Yeah, like a little choo-choo train, a little Polar Express. I want to make it just like I did the candy cane, not of plywood, but I want it to be like, well, not like life size, of course, but I just want to build like a train set right in the middle of my yard, because there's a big old, with all that crap that's on the house out there, the yard is just like, I want to build a train and have like rope lights for the tracks to go through the yard. And yeah, those little blow-ups on my porch, You can't really see him with that big dinosaur. I like the dinosaur right there, but the little blow-ups are like, eh. So then I'm gonna make a train and then have 2 little carts behind it, and then have the blow-ups sitting in those carts. Of course, that's a year away, so I gotta start planning it, like how I'm gonna build it. Stay tuned for that a year from now. Hopefully, God willing, I'm still alive a year from now. God willing, we're all still alive a year from now to celebrate Christmas once again. So much love and best wishes for your family on this Christmas 2017. Hope you guys have a good one. I know we got a good one planned because I know everybody else got. All right, we will holler at you guys. Who else is here? Oh, I will holler at you guys in the next video. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, all that good stuff. We'll see you guys in the next video about something. Bye.